up, you listen to my monkey mouth. There's a companion when you got pun on the Kanoa route. Hopped in a portal and got in a fight, Elias knocked him out. Bow, Naruto fighting style. Bow, UFC he tapped out. Bow, we win, we get crowned. Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.
Welcome to SUYL. I got a guest in the studio. Why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Hi, I am Sonny Carlin. I have been convicted of several murders. Never been, never lost, never whatsoever.
What is it on Sonny? He goes, being a person of interest doesn't mean that you're. It doesn't mean the same thing you're actually doing.
Like I do, like always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I just don't understand all the shout outs and all the lies because I've never been to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, what are you talking about? I've never even met these guys. Cool guys, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
cool guys.
Yeah. Have you ever seen like the Dayman?
Oh
stuff?
God, yeah, that's like one of the best episodes.
Dayman. Fighter of the night, man.
He's such a just a setup for a giant proposal to the waitress.
Yeah.
You know, what a great episode, man. Yeah, they got their own podcast too. It's like it's like everybody with a last name and a microphone's got a podcast now. Even
Everybody.
a fat Hispanic
Even
guy.
Eli Manning has a fucking podcast.
What does he talk about? I bet, you know what he needs to talk
brain
about?
damage, I think.
Soccer.
Right?
I got really into soccer after.
It's just a trinket show. That's all.
Yeah, he's literally doing Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah.
He's like I forgot how to I forgot most of my language skills, but I can tell you what an 18th century teacup is worth.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's Peyton Manning. I think we're roasting Eli Manning for no reason.
Yeah,
but he does have a big ass head.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Pete Davidson had a really good roast about him where he said Peyton Manning looks like it's Eli Manning. I don't know,
It's Eli Manning. I think that you're right. Yeah.
Looks like a football player if he evolved to not need
to
helmets.
not need a helmet. Yeah.
So.
As was it Gronkowski? I can't say his last name. I think he did like a Family Guy episode. Where he's
from
like,
the Emperor's New Groove, Gronk.
Gronk. Well, Gronk, the football player.
Oh, there's a football player named Gronk.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only know I like the violence. You know, like whenever someone gets their like legs snapped in 3 places, I love those.
Well, Gronk I think was like one of the hard hitters because like what's his name picked him back up when he went. The guy who's going through the divorce right now. He did like
which
the
one?
He was like what the quarterback for Patriots and all that. And now he's like now he plays for Florida.
Now he works at a Subway.
Now he works at a Subway. I mean, it doesn't actually work at a Subway, but I mean, well, I mean, they kind of all work for Subway now, right?
Yeah.
Like Subway
they all drink Miller Lite and work at Subway.
Yeah, it's like a lot of them do work for Subway. It's like come in and try our meat, like you know. We've got like meat now, you know. Like,
is he winking at me because he's like alluring to the fact that this isn't meat,
yeah,
or because he has concussions?
A little bit of both. Yeah, he's like we're not sure what this is. Like they call it. We're not sure what this is. Like they call it meat, but like you know.
Yeah, I was noticing this tattoo on your ankle. Is that like a? Oh, it's not. I thought that's the Converse.
Yeah. Like I'm like super flat-footed, so like I couldn't wear Converse anymore, so I just got them tattooed on my leg. It was like one of the stupidest, like one of the dumbest. Huh? Marlboro. Yeah. You know what? I have like a super like weird affinity for like tobacco companies, like Pfizer.
Would you say you're addicted to them?
No, I don't smoke. I just kind of like I like the open wickedness of tobacco company. Yeah. Like it's really cool to me like that they're able like Thank You for Smoking was like one of my favorite movies. Yeah. Like they're perfectly okay with like killing, everybody with their product. They literally sell a product that murders, hundreds of thousands of people.
That's what I love about Taco Bell is because like they don't even try to even say, hey, this is really good. I don't even think they have calorie counts.
They probably don't. Yeah, they're probably like
you're taking your life into your own hands every time you pull through this drive-through.
You're coming up and you're asking for a gordita. Like you know what the action is. You know what the action is.
Yeah,
it's like
we're not here to make you
like they don't even wink at you. They're just like, take whatever this is. Like I'm not even like I don't have to wink at you. We know this isn't meat.
I had this really fucking weird thing happen today. I DoorDash for a living and I went to Gaddy's Pizza. You ever ate there?
I like Gaddy's Pizza. Like they're like one of the last Gaddy's pizzas around because like Gaddy's shut down, so now it's like strictly only franchises. So like there's no more Mr. Gaddy's. Like if you have a Gaddy's, it's because you had a previous franchise with Gaddy's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's why I think that's like Taylor's Gaddy's, like or whatever it is.
Well, I stopped at one, and like they have this weird, they do this weird flex where they're like, you pull up to the drive-thru, and some places do this, like especially in like less
small
populated, small town places where they're like, no, you have to come in to get the order, and I'm like, well, if only there was like some sort of window that I could just drive through and you could just hand it to me. Like, you guys ever heard about this new technology at all? Have you ever heard about this at all? Because like you could probably implement it here. I mean, you already got everything all set up. Like I could just literally do it. In fact, I think I see people doing it. But I pull up to the window and like and that's like for pickup orders only is what it says right there. And this lady comes out and she, bless her heart, she doesn't have all her teeth. And like I'm just like, I'm like, I'm sorry. And she's just like goes, what's the who you picking up for? And I'm like, I'm picking up for so and so. It's a DoorDash order. And then she's like, oh, you're gonna have to come inside. And I look behind her and I see the boxes on the counter. Yeah. And I'm like, right there, 15 feet away from us. Like, and then she's like, yeah, you have to come here. And I'm like, that spot right there, like that spot that we're both looking at. Yeah. Like that's further away from where we are now. Yeah. Like you want me to go there? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, cool. And so I went in there and I go in there and like in these moments I have this great opportunity to be really passive aggressive. And I love being passive aggressive. Yeah. And
it feels good to be passive aggressive.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. It's like I love being toxic. Yeah. It's just the fun. It's like so fun.
And that's the problem with being toxic is it feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. If it wasn't supposed to be, toxic wasn't good, why does it feel good? Yeah.
Well, I mean, come on, that doesn't really make sense. Like,
It should
drinking a lot of alcohol feels good. We know it's toxic.
We should call it sweet. If you're being toxic, you should be sweet.
Yeah, he's like, oh, this guy's full of candy.
You being sweet with me, bro?
This guy's full of candy.
Yeah. Are you gaslighting me? You sweet ass.
It's like, oh man, this guy's just giving out cotton candy over here. He's just
right.
But yeah, so you're ready to be petty.
All the time. Yeah. Yeah, I used to be in the Navy, and I was a second-class petty officer. And little did I know I was going to take that rank very seriously.
You just took it home with you.
I was so good at it.
Yeah, and so what transpired? Did you get to be petty?
Well, I just the way that I was passive aggressive.
Or passive aggressive, yeah.
I got to do that was like that's the politically correct way. Like that's my preferred verbs. Yeah. Is fucking.
So you go by Tom Petty.
Yeah, Tom Petty. I listen to that all the time.
You're just like blasting Heartbreakers and like Tom Petty and the Heartbreak. Like I'm the Heartbreaker, he's Petty.
Yeah, guy in my trunk is Tom. But again, I literally drive around the building, and it takes me like 5 seconds to go around the building. Yeah. And I come inside, and I have my DoorDash bag, and then I walk in and I go, hey, long time no see. How long's it been? Like 30 seconds? Whoa, how the time flies. Like, I'm trying to pick up a DoorDash order. Like, you got it here for me? Oh, look at that. It's right there within arm's reach. And then I open the bag and I'm like, can you put that in there for me, please? Yeah. And then she like kind of was like, but she just like really enjoyed my pettiness all of a sudden. And so she was like laughing. And so
I don't think that she perceived it as pettiness because it's such a small town. Yeah. So she just perceived it as like small town sensibility. Yeah. Like, well, check out this sweet guy. Yeah. He's being so nice.
Oh, and he's sweet little. I'm from a small town too. Like I'm from Anahuac, Texas.
Anahuac. So it's like that. What's the population?
2,000 people.
So like I'm from Granger. There's like 7 people and like maybe a couple of
Christ.
Cows. Like we graduated 55 students.
Right. Mine had 72.
72.
I think.
Yeah.
And one of those were Siamese twins. And like fucking
Does it just a single diploma?
Yeah. No, it's like two part. It's like part level parchment. Like, but
do they hold one together or do they each get a separate one?
Yeah, one holds the end, the other one holds the other.
What I'm wondering is class pictures, because I'd be like, listen, I'm not paying for
especially if one of them got like awards, like one got best smile, and like the other one was like really really good at volleyball.
Yeah, I'm just like if I'm the parent, I'm like I'm not paying for 2 class pictures. Right. They're wearing one set of clothes.
Yeah, he saves so much money on presents because it's like you only have to buy like one.
I'd wrap individual shoes. Yeah. That's how fucking I'd be like, oh, Dad, you didn't have to. I'm like, well, you got the left shoe.
Yeah, I'd call her my left foot.
Oh man, I'm like that's probably enough for me. I'm probably like dead now. Just saying that, like this guy's such a prick. He'd get his Siamese kids, like he'd separate their like shoes.
Right. Now there wasn't any Siamese twins in our town. We'd have fucking killed them. Like it would be like witchcraft, and then fucking just like
you'd be weighing a duck. Like you seen that?
Weighing a duck?
Like Monty Python, or like How to Tell If They're a Witch.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's old, man. Like my business partner Josh, he's like one of my close friends. He's the one who like set all this stuff up. He calls me a time traveler because like instead of like being good at like spelling or math, or like maybe even social skills, I hold a lot of useless knowledge when it comes to like Simpsons trivia and movies. So like if you don't know a movie and you'll be like, who's that guy with that one thing that like time traveled, like, and it was like this thing, I'd be like, oh, it's that movie and that's the character. Like, so like that's my ability. So yeah, so like the whole point of it is like there's like this really like learned monk kind of, or like knight, and they're like trying to figure out if this woman's a witch, and so the mob is like taking him to like to get her to like burn her, and they're like, well, he's like, well, we don't, like let's use logic. Is like if she's a witch, like let's wear her against a duck because witches can't swim, ducks can float, if this or that or whatever. And then they're like, okay, so that it checks out, and so they end up dragging her to the pond, and they have like a duck under their hand. Like, so if she weighs the same as a duck, then we know that she's a witch because witches can't swim or whatever.
But
so whatever
kind of. If she dies, at least we didn't have any witches around us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
turns out we were just stupid.
So when you were talking about drive-throughs, it made me think of like there's like a YouTube like short video, whatever you want to call it, like one of those YouTube shorts where it's like, I went to Italy and like I was grabbing a wine out of a window that was made during like the plague era because you still needed your wine, but like there wasn't supposed to be contact, so they like literally like wine distilleries
was that how the drive-through window was
created? Yeah.
Oh shit.
Like literally like handing wine bottles out through like a brick window. So they still had to get drunk, so like Black Plague's
they had
going
their fucking priorities.
Yeah, like Black Plague's going on, but I still need my wine. Like it's like that I forgot which comedian it was. It was like was it A1 sauce was
I never heard of him.
Well, A1 steak sauce was made
is he Asian?
This is a comedian's about A1 steak sauce.
Oh, I've never heard of this guy.
And so he's like,
he's talking about A1
yeah,
steak
he's
sauce.
like,
you should have just said that.
Yeah, the A1 steak sauce was made at the same time the Civil War was happening. And so he's like, you know what we need? Steak sauce. It's like,
I can fix the tension between the north and the south. We can fix this whole thing, man. I got a bunch of people in the fields that can I'll just reroute them. They make the best sauce anyway.
Best steak sauce.
Yeah.
What we need to settle this tension is a quality steak sauce.
Right. Abraham Lincoln just tasted and was like, I have an idea.
I have an idea. Barbecue.
407 ribs ago.
It's like, I got some prime rib. We got a bunch of people here that can cook. We clearly stole all the recipes.
Yeah, I mean, we already got them. Might as well.
So you're door dashing. You're here 2 hours early. You're making me feel bad about that, man. Like I come in here, you're waiting for me and everything. I'm like, man, you beat me to the studio. What do you think of the studio?
I think it looks like a halfway house.
Halfway house?
Yeah, it looks like sober living house from the outside.
From the outside,
it looks like one of those like Baptist churches you see in a fucking small town.
We actually are here to convert you to, we want you to join the religion.
Yeah, well, I already got confirmed in the Catholic Church, and they're all just like, hey, you're an adult now. When I was 16 years old, they're like, hey, you're an adult, so you could choose to like go back to the church or like leave. And I'm like, I'm leaving. Like
it's like a baptism, confirmation, and then wedding, and then death. All in one.
I'm waiting on the death. I got married.
All in one location.
Yeah. You ever been married before?
No.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's such a bad fucking deal. You get a better deal from Death Row Records. Well, back before Snoop took over.
It's just like they both hang you out a window.
Yeah, right. Just selling wine, like slinging wine and fucking Gaddy's Pizza, bro.
It just but yeah. So when you were door dashing and stuff, like you door dash all around Austin as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's how I make my living.
That's how you make your living, huh?
Yeah.
So like, what's some interesting stuff you saw at DoorDash?
It's usually crackheads.
Yeah,
it's usually like fucking, because it's like, it's not really dangerous here because like I don't have that fear of like, I'm going to the wrong house, I might get shot.
Yeah.
And I should not have ate that fucking sub before. I'm like fucking It's like it's wanting to escape, and I'm like, no, I'm turning you into poop. Like it's just
like, I mean, when you're eating quality food like Subway,
top like Michelin star, like.
I mean, like chef's kiss Subway.
I know, right? They're not even wearing hairnets, and I'm just like, good. I need human DNA
They're
in
like,
my food.
You wanted pickles on that? Like,
you want some of that? Hang on, I need to throw up in the onions real fast.
It's like, I made this Chipotle sauce earlier.
No, Jesus.
What?
Yeah, I ate Taco Bell and let it fucking simmer in me for a little bit. It's barrel aged.
It's barrel aged Taco Bell. Yeah,
the guy who cooks the sandwiches, his name is Barrel.
Barrel. Yeah. Have you ever worked for Taco Bell?
No.
Do you know how any of the food is like?
It's work to fucking eat it. I know that. But it's like,
you know how like the food is like the food comes out and stuff like that. So like the beans are like freeze dried. So everything is made in what they call BUNN water. So you know what that is? Bun water. So bun water comes out. I think it's like 175 to like 190 degrees, right? So it's like super hot water. And then what happens is most of the stuff is kept in freezers, and then it's transported into the refrigerator, and then from the refrigerator goes onto the line, and it's usually like held out for a little bit so it can defrost, and then you fill up the buckets with bun water, and you put the meat in there. So it's all prepackaged. So it comes in like these like sous vide kind of like bags.
Sous vide.
Yeah, that's what I would call it.
That sounds like a downgraded IV.
He's like, well, like you ever heard of sous vide, right? Like how you cook like steaks in like sous vide water.
No.
It's essentially
You're
like
blowing my fucking mind
so like
right now.
with sous vide, you like essentially put a raw, like you could put like steak. It's done with a lot of like red meats, like steak, sometimes even like duck. And so you put in a vacuum seal, and then you bring the water up to a certain temperature, so that it partially cooks, or that it pretty much cooks all the way. And then what you do is you're putting a char on the outside of it to like seal in all the flavors.
Okay.
And then you can like baste it with butter or any kind of fat. But essentially it's the same process, but just with lower grade food, you know. So this is just like the meat is already pre-seasoned, pre-prepared, and you just put it in like a water bath of like 175 to like 190 degrees, and then you just cut it open and you put it on the line. Cool. You get bun water, which comes out at like 190 degrees. You cut open the freeze bagged beans, you put it in, it turns the like frozen, frozen
the bean sickles.
Yeah, the bean sickles, into like fresh beans, and it's just like it's all done. And then like there's like everything's like done in like caulking guns. So like the the sour cream is like in a caulking gun. The cheese is like in a caulking gun.
Imagine somebody who like also works at a construction site and everything as a private contractor, but then they also work at Taco Bell and they just bring the wrong caulking gun, and then
just like
everybody within a 2-mile radius from this Taco Bell for some reason has to have their mouths fused together.
He's like on the he goes one time he just like changed up the orders by accident. Just got a bunch of like sour cream to the construction site. Like all these windows are falling out. It's like I think we're sealing it with sour cream. They do the line. You ever done like the bead? Like you ever like
caulk something?
Yeah, do that bead line. What?
I remember like I was a helicopter mechanic in the Navy.
Yeah.
And we would have to do sealants, and like we whenever you had to deal with hazmat, you always had to put gloves on.
Yeah.
But we found out a little trick where if you don't put those gloves on and you just spit on your finger, you can actually spread it a lot easier.
Yeah, that's the trick. Is like I guarantee like 90% of people who probably put in windows have some sort of like glue poisoning, because it's just like they're just like, just lick your finger and spread that sealant out.
Genetics are so fucking strong. Dude.
Yeah, like,
that's why generations of them just licking cock.
And that's called machismo. Licking cock. Yeah. It's like, I'm not gay, I say I'm machismo, man.
You know,
no, you lick cock.
I didn't know any like. Do you speak Spanish?
No, I don't speak any Spanish. I'm a coconut. You know what a coconut is? You know, yeah, pretty much. Well, no, cool. You know what a coconut is?
Yeah, I mean like the
brown on the outside, white on the end. I'm a coconut. So like,
I thought you're Hawaiian.
No. I'm Hispanic, but I like act super Caucasian. So cool. My friend, well, my business partner Josh says I'm whiter than he is. Yeah. You know, it's like I don't know any Spanish. Like the only thing that's Hispanic about me is I like the culture and the food. So like if I was to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, it's probably pretty racist.
I like how pregnantable the women are.
That's just Probably genetics.
Love them. Like, and I don't like submissive women.
Yeah.
I like women that'll like, you know, that'll beat me up because I lost the fight and then go beat up the guy that beat me up.
Yeah.
Like fucking like
it was like one of my friends posted on there is just like if the knife doesn't stand up, there's no reason to call the cops. If the knife isn't standing up, there's no reason to call the cops. Right. Like I just stabbed you. Like it's not standing up. Like
well, kind of like kind of logic is this?
Like chill.
So I've never seen a knife just stand up after stabbing somebody. It just like stands up on one point. When you said that, I thought it was just like standing up on one point. No, just
like in the body, just standing up.
Yeah, I was just like, it's like on the ground, just standing. If your knife becomes sentient, then it's a problem. It's like
I don't want to do this. You're gonna do it.
It's like, the knife told me to do it. It got up and jumped in my hand.
That's probably like 60% of like Latino logic.
Yeah, like, they're all schizophrenic.
It's like it made me do it.
Right.
But yeah, so now I just like I'm 35 years old, so like I never really like they never wanted our generation to learn Spanish. So like we're now it's a necessity to like
who's
know our generation.
I mean, like who's they?
The school district, jobs, just general like zeitgeist, I guess.
Unify and find out that deal was really, really bad.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Louisiana Purchase was a bad thing.
It's just like anything that had to do with Hispanic culture wasn't really popular then. You know, like there was no Taco Tuesday. People didn't bastardize a margarita and like make you think Jose Cuervo because they thought it was good. You know, so like there was like no appropriate. Like I don't really believe in like cultural appropriation that much, but there was like no appreciation for the culture as much as there is now. And there wasn't like an influx of like there was of course probably a lot of Hispanics, but a lot of it was like, oh well, we don't like if you're Hispanic we want you to learn English. We don't really, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Like we really want you to assimilate as hard as possible. You know? And so I'm like 7th or 8th generation Hispanic, so like we don't even like my generation into Mexico like is probably like 9 or 10 back, so it doesn't like we're not even from Mexico. We're from Texas.
Wait, you're not born speaking Spanish?
Well, no, we're not even Mexican. Like we're Texican.
Yeah.
So like none of my generational family were actually in Mexico. Like the border moved with our generational family. Yeah. So yeah, maybe it was part of Mexico, but it was still technically
brought
Texas.
The wall with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was like when the lines were being drawn, like our ancestors were still in Texas.
Yeah, we're gonna move it a single inch.
Yeah, so it's just like
every generation.
Yeah, exactly. So like I'm not really even like none of my generational like family on my mom's side are from Mexico. And then like the ones on my dad's side of the family, some of them are from America, some of them are from like America, and then some of them are from like my grandmother. I don't know if she was just like lying to me or if she was just like joking with us, because like with old people you can't ever tell when they're telling the truth or when they're just kind of like saying stuff.
Or something.
Yeah, so like she was saying that my grandfather, my great grandfather, her dad spoke French. So like, was he French or was he Spanish? Was he from Spain and spoke both Spanish and French?
Yeah, man, Spain ain't even real.
Well, I like to.
You ever been there?
It's as real as Australia.
Yeah.
Or it's as real as birds
Australia,
are.
what? Like that ain't even real. Chris Hemsworth is American.
Did you see the
He's just acting this whole time.
The seagull eat that rat on YouTube?
No, but I've seen that like happen.
Oh, dude, it scared the shit out of me.
Seagulls are terrifying.
They're awesome. It's like my new favorite fake bird.
You ever seen a great white pelican?
A great white? No, I've never seen.
Oh my god, these things are terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, so like there's this documentary. It's like Dan Attenborough, or whatever his name is.
Okay.
It's like the other guy's like, the great white pelican comes stalking up to its prey, and just like you see them, they're like these fucking destroyers just flying in the air, and they go and they land around all these little ass birds. And what they do is they look for the young, the baby.
Oh no!
And they eat the baby. Like they put it in its big old mouth and it goes and just like fucking eats it and like puts it in its stomach and then flies off.
Yeah.
And everything. And then when it gets back to its young, you see all of its little fucking little Aryan babies just going and then it throws up the living bird, but it's all burnt up from the stomach
acid.
Yeah, and then they just tear it apart and everything.
Goodness.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Did you see that owl just yank that hawk out of the tree?
No, like I don't like. are these things like being shown on the news?
That's like YouTube Shorts. Like I'll just like scroll through YouTube and like watch like YouTube Shorts.
There's so many fucking channels on fucking YouTube. It's like I don't think everyone's gonna be like seeing that. It's like it just like pops up out of nowhere.
Well, it's just like I watch these different things, and so I think it was like I don't know what particular podcast was talking about it. But they were talking about how ferocious owls are, and so like these like two hawks were like in a tree. It was like the dead of night, and it's just like they're just kind of chilling in this tree, and you just see this like owl like swoop in. It's two mandibles just like grab this hawk out of the tree and then just fly away. And the other hawk's like, what the hell just happened? Like literally just like I swear there was a hawk standing next to me like 30 seconds ago.
They're just having a nice conversation where they're like, man, I've just been so down on my luck and everything. And it's like, hey Ben, don't worry. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be good. You just got to keep on flying. Keep on flying straight. Remember what Mommy told us? Keep on flying straight. Like, fucking.
Just takes it and flies away, man. They're like, they're little dinosaurs, man. They're scary. Yeah, birds are terrifying. The ones that are real.
I like feeding them. You know, it's like where, especially like whenever the
I like how
the pecans. Like,
I like how you're not feeding into the idea that birds aren't real.
No, birds aren't real. Like this is a hologram, but I enjoy it. We're probably all in the metaverse.
Yesterday when I was doing, or the day before yesterday when I was doing the podcast, I always tell people that I'm all about eating the steak. You know what I mean?
No.
So like
what do you
Matrix.
Mean? Oh, I thought that was like a fucking symbolism for like gay stuff.
No. Like that's like I'm all about
that meat, bro.
Like I'd rather drink the red wine and eat the steak. Like I'm all about the Matrix.
Yeah, I don't want to be fucking living in terror.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna be on
the Terminators are gonna fuck me up.
Nebuchadnezzar eating like what is that chicken byproduct that goop? Like nah, man, give me a glass of red wine and a steak. I'm cool, man.
Give me the goop too.
Give me the goop too. I'm cool.
Yeah, fuck it.
Put the goop on the side, but I'm not gonna be down there in the Nebuchadnezzar. I'm cool in the Matrix, bro. Like,
right. Whenever you said Nebuchadnezzar, I thought of like the old like Bible story of like, King Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, like, I think that's the name of the ship on Matrix.
Yeah, there's like Eshak, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah,
and
so you're true blue Catholic. Like my Catholic sensibility is probably gone. Like I don't know anything about Catholicism anymore.
The story was pretty fucking sick. So these guys, I don't know what they did. They like fucking. They're probably like black or something like that, and like everyone just didn't like it, and they're just like, so they were just like, hey, we're gonna throw you in an oven, you black people, and so they like threw them in an oven, and then God was like, they're not gonna die in there, and then they're like fine, and then even so they were just like, hey, we turn it up and everything, and there was like a whole song about it too.
Turn it up.
Yeah, it was the Migos. Like,
the Migos.
Yeah, it was the first Migos.
Yeah, so like they're like turn it up. And
how did you feel about like whenever whenever the third Migo died?
So the news of it was really interesting. So like apparently he wasn't even part of the scuffle. Like they're throwing dice at in a bowling alley.
I heard about it and then it said man, this was the whole reason why I learned the third Migos name.
Yeah. It's literally like they're the tenors and he was the third tenor.
I didn't know who the fuck he was. And then like fucking.
You've seen that Seinfeld episode, right? Where they know the two tenors' names, but no one knows the third one.
Yeah. Third member of the Migos dies, and I'm like, and then I go in Houston. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Like so. When I think of like I think of like throwing dice. I don't think of like throwing dice in a bowling alley. That's so strange to me. Like I don't, because like that's like, to me that's gambling. I mean I'm sure it goes on in there, but I'm thinking of like, 8 or 9 people standing in front
inside of a bowling
alley.
alley?
I don't know if they were inside, but I thought it happened on the inside of the bowling alley.
You got to throw dice outside.
That's what I thought.
That's
so
an
like,
outside.
Yeah, it's an outside activity.
It's
right?
an outside sport.
Yeah, like, you're in the elements, just like throwing dice. So it's just like, but yeah. So he wasn't part of the squabble. And then he kind of got pulled into it. One of his friends, I think, shot the gun that was friendly fire. Now I could be all mistaken on this.
I have no idea.
But like, and then he ends up dying from a gunshot wound. And I think it was just in the squabble that was going around him, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like
they have a lot of shootings in Austin sometimes.
They have a ton of shootings in Austin. Like, well, it's kind of died down.
It's pretty. I mean, but like, I can't wait for the season to start over again.
Yeah,
like
stuff. Did you hear about like what is it?
Get my cardio up for it.
There was like a shooting. and was it may have been Baltimore, but who knows? Like it was literally like a Wild West shooting out in the middle of the streets, and like 2 people died, and they were like, "That's mutual."
They actually like dueled.
Yeah, it was like it was mutual
Meet
combat.
me by the clock tower at noon.
It was like, meet me by the Arby's, not the one that's open, but the one that closed last Tuesday because of the C rating.
Right. Then one of them dies, and it's like, oh, looks like we got the meats again. Like,
it was like so ridiculous. Like, so they're like, oh, this is mutual combat. Like they can be let go. Like, cause like each side decided to shoot at each other, and like I don't think it works that way.
You can have like assisted suicide in Oregon. Why can't you have like a like a duel?
I think that there should be designated duel areas.
Yeah, there's a place where you could park your scooter. Like you can only park your scooter in these designated spots, but then there's also like
the designated duel area. Yeah, yep. It's like, but it both takes Apple Pay. It's like, oh man, I forgot my phone at home. Everyone carries their phone.
Yeah, did you get your dual insurance? Your dual insurance just in case you don't win.
Yeah, it's like the payout's pretty decent, you know. It's like
you just gotta pay for it in advance. Listen, you gotta pay into this for like 3 months before you're allowed to duel.
Before you're allowed to duel.
Before you're covered.
You just can't go into it thinking you're gonna duel. Give it like 3 months.
Who's that mad that long?
It's like what was it, that comedian that was like, every bullet should be $1,000. That way it's like motherfuckers really gotta be mad.
Oh, I don't know who that is, but I think it was Cat Williams.
I think it was Cat Williams. It was like every bullet should be $1,000 because you gotta be real mad to want to kill a motherfucker. Like,
right. Or maybe it was Dane Cook. I don't know. They're both very similar.
Dane Cook. I always hear like, whenever you're gonna set up an urban comedy, it goes Dane Cook, Pablo Francisco, and then Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
I mean, but he's like the token.
What do you mean by like urban, or like the places that I would be scared to go to?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, like when you're setting up comedy,
or I look like I'd be scared to go
strictly
there.
for Hispanic and Black people.
Yeah.
It's just like you don't go with the obvious.
They look terrified whenever I go there. Like whenever I go there, they're like.
They just hear like a oh, and like a whistle, like a train whistle.
Fall Out Boy coming around.
Dance.
Sugar, we're going down swinging.
What?
Like, what the hell is that? And I just pull up and I'm like, hi guys, is there a Pookie here?
Pookie? Like for some reason.
He's like, yeah, he's 2 doors down. Let me go get him. Which that actually happened to me, where I was in the 3rd ward of Houston.
Yeah.
And like where like I'm not supposed to be there. And like, and I pull up and there's all these guys that are all just wearing the same colors. They're all matching colors, and it's like,
I'm pretty sure that they're probably cool with you being there.
As long as you don't act like a fucking like
a knucklehead. Like be yourself. Don't. That's
like, wait, that I think who was talking about that? That was just in my head. I think Alyssa was talking.
Alyssa and Josh were talking about just kind of be as real as possible. Don't come in there and be like, yo, G, where's Pookie at?
Yeah, what's up, my dude? I'm trying to find some stuff. And I'm like, I just come in there and be like, hey guys, do you watch Naruto? And they're like, fuck yeah, I do. I'm like, oh, what's up, dude?
You like take out your Naruto wallet and you think they're gonna want to take it, but they're showing you the same Naruto wallet. You're like, oh man, I got the same wallet.
For the opening for that show, there was like a reference to Naruto.
Yeah,
like the Konoha Club or whatever.
Yeah, that's Josh's thing. Like, I don't watch that much anime.
I have a line for it, and so if Josh listens to this,
hopefully he will.
I have a line for it where it's like, if one more Kage try to stop me, there gonna be some Jonin level ninjas in your lobby. You want no problem with the leaf. You want no problem with the leaf. I'm gonna cut
Josh
is gonna love that.
I'm gonna cut that and put it on the Monkey Mouth music.
Yeah.
Because like I do have a Monkey Mouth music set aside.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So like
I also am like a musician as well.
Yeah, you have a great singing voice. Like when you were doing Clean's Clearwater Revival. I think you were doing Clean's Clearwater Revival.
I don't know what it was.
When we were like setting up.
It's one of those white people songs.
Yeah, I love Creedence. Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah, because you're white.
Yeah, I mean honestly, it's like it's disco music. I remember I was at a restaurant that I was working at, and I was like, this music sucks. And they were like, what are you talking about? This music. And they're like listening to like, like death metal. Yeah. And then I come in and I'm like, the rains violins down in Africa. They're like, what the hell are you listening to, Elias? And I'm like, 80s music, brother. Like,
I bless.
I bless.
That's what I play whenever I walk. I roll through the third.
Yeah, you roll. Like,
wait, I'm here to bless the rains. Like, guys, calm down.
You just like, you go up there and you just walk through and it's like, hi guys, do you like violins?
I love violence. Does anybody here want a duel?
It's like, where's the designated dueling area? It's like,
they're like, oh, you got Yu-Gi-Oh cards, homie? And I'm like, yeah, I'm a Magic the Gathering. It's like, cool, I got my D20 right now.
It's like, where's the designated dueling area? I was here to bring artisanal pickles and designated dueling areas.
Go up to a bunch of Crips and I'm like, hey, I got a red deck. And they're like, what? The fuck you say?
And it's like out of nowhere, he's like, duel. Like, what? Who said that? It's like some guy just runs by and just says, duel. Like,
oh, the first actual season of Yu-Gi-Oh was fucking brutal, dude. Like, Yugi's a fucking murderer. Like, he used to like play these games where it's like the stakes were like, hey, you either win or you die. And so he would just fucking kill people.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh's just murking people in the first season.
Just imagine that. You're just hanging out with your friend and you're just like throwing down cards and everything like that. Or it wasn't even cards. He's a master of games. So it's like any game. Like, they're just shooting dice. That's probably how the Migo died.
Oh my God.
He fucking fought Yugi.
Yeah, he fought Yugi.
Yeah, he fought Yugi and he got banished to the Shadow Realm. That's what they don't tell you.
The Blue Dragon came out.
Yeah, exactly. It was Exodia.
Exodia came out and took Amigos.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
An Egyptian pharaoh.
Pharaoh.
And took down a black man again.
Oh, well, I mean, actually, if we're gonna get technical, I think like they were
all black. It was black on black crime. The Jews used to be black then. The Egyptians were black. It was just black on black crime. That's why we don't talk about it, because I as a white person can't talk about that kind of stuff.
What is something that people think existed during biblical times and it's like a joke and it was like white people?
I actually have a theory that we're from Mars, dude.
Yeah. Y'all guys just like terrorversed or like anti-terrorversed Mars and then just decided to come to good old Earth.
Yeah, fucking the Nazis were there first off, and then it was just like fucking,
no, they're behind the moon, man. Like, don't even play.
They thought water was the fucking problem, and so they killed all the water there. They're like,
did you ever see Moonfall?
Moonfall?
Yeah.
The moon's always been where it is.
Well, I refuse to watch it. Like, I refuse to watch the movie Moonfall.
What is it about?
It's about the moon. Like, it's about the moon being like a moon base made by AI. It's this weird movie, but like I refuse to watch it because I was like, I watched somebody talk about how bad the movie was, and so like I went into it thinking like it is a stupid movie, but it's like the best kind of stupid movie. You know, it's like really, it's honestly, it's a
like Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah, exactly. It's like such
Sharknado.
It's an awesomely horrible movie, but it's like it's got its qualities that make you like it. But so, the whole basis of it is like we lived on another planet and created an AI that became sentient and only wanted to destroy like all carbon life form or something like that. Sounds rad. And then so like we ended up containing it in the moon. And then it decided to like escape when we were gonna do like a moon landing or some kind of BS like that. But it's actually really good. It's actually really funny too. Like it's an interesting movie. Did you ever watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
The like chubby guy that like was Jon Snow's like companion on the wall is like
I like that you said that. Co-panion.
I don't know what to call him. Like
I just single panion.
Single panion.
I'm interpanion.
Interpanion. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know what to call him. Like co-panion. But like they were. Yeah, he's like the comedy relief in it, and he like knew all along that the moon was
the guy that ends up becoming a scholar.
Yeah, like a scribe. Like he's like reading all the books and like basically
this teriyaki chicken just keeps coming up, dude. Like,
okay, so you did the teriyaki chicken. Did you do the sweet onion sauce with it?
Yes, sir.
You got to, right?
Yeah, and I did honey mustard.
Oh man, you just wanted to feel.
And I saw how dirty the lettuce was, and I was like, "Yo, give me two."
Give me
2 helpings of dirty lettuce. Like fucking, I'm trying to clear
it was literally,
out my system.
It was literally like you were like, no, not that lettuce. The lettuce floating in the tomatoes. Like, give me that lettuce.
I need that in the bun water. Yeah, I need.
Give me a cup of bun water.
I see you got Diet Coke and waters and tea here. Do you got any
bun water?
Can you just give me a gallon of that?
I'll take a gallon of bun water.
I don't want to drive to Oregon for assisted suicide.
I'm trying to get out of that. I'm
trying to die in this county tonight.
There was man, that's all I used to work is in restaurants. I worked at a liquor store for like 7 years. And that was like the longest I ever worked in one place, and I managed it for like 4 years.
Oh, nice.
And we called the people who got there at like 9:45 door tuggers.
Door tuggers?
Yeah, because
they just stand at the door and give tugs.
Well, they tug on the door and it would be locked, and then you'd see them defeated and then go back to their car.
My whole day was about this.
Yeah, well, they'd be like, dude, it's like 9:45. Like, can you wait 15 minutes for me to unlock the door? It was bad, man. Like, I lost 3 customers. Like 3 customers drank themselves.
At least it wasn't to alcoholism.
And yeah, that's what it was to. Like, it was to the alcohol. Like, I saw a guy.
What, you lost them? Like they died?
Yeah. Like in my time being there, like three of my customers like drank themselves to death.
Regulars.
Yeah.
Like,
and like one guy, he was like, and he'd drink his like 375, and he'd walk out straight.
Yeah.
Because there's
some people like that's where like people get kind of differentiate between alcoholism and then just like you drink heavily.
Dependency.
Yeah.
And alcohol, like
you can die from
withdrawals. Like dependency, alcohol dependency is different from being an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Like there are people whose blood alcohol level has to maintain for them to survive.
Yeah, then fucking Ciroc just passing through.
Yeah. Ciroc, what are you talking about, man? It's Skull.
Skull?
Yeah.
What the? I've never been like a big drinker. It's like
I worked at a liquor store. So I'm not a big drinker anymore, but like we do have a bar here.
Yeah, I noticed
like,
that.
It was like but yeah, like Skull, SKOLL, I think. It's literally rock gut. And like if you ever see
these all sound like dances.
Well, rock gut is like what we call like ground level liquor. Like it's the cheapest liquor, rock gut liquor. But like if you ever see something called KD, Kentucky Deluxe, and you look at the back of it, it'll say like 10%, 10% something or other, and then 90% distilled liquor or distilled spirit. So the 10% of it is like a whiskey flavoring. It's like a like a teaspoon of whiskey, and then the rest of it is literally just vodka. So it's just flavored vodka.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
It's crazy, man.
I never really took to like. I stopped drinking like maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
And it was like do you want a water or something?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm biting my lip.
Yeah, your lips would look real chapped.
Yeah. It's like
I was just like, you're just like
dehydrated, I guess.
You're wasting away, and I'm just like, you want some water?
But yeah,
it's delicious. You can take a swig off my water if you want.
I'm good.
Yeah, I don't have herpes anymore.
Yeah. It
goes away.
Yeah, it's not spiked yet.
I actually had a herpes scare whenever I was 18. Like one of the first time I ever had sex was
it just like it just burned when you peed or something?
No, like fucking I had like this bump on my shit. And, like fucking I was like, what the fuck? And so I went to the doctor, and it was like it was a small town doctor, and like this guy would literally tell you to his name's Yazdani, Dr. Yazdani, and he would suggest soup for every ailment. Like he's like, oh, your stomach hurts, you need to drink more soup, you need to eat more soup. It's like your eyes aren't working, you just eat more soup. You have a broken leg, you eat more soup. It's like fucking.
Was it a particular kind of soup?
Yeah, it's just soup.
Did he prescribe soup?
He just said soup. Yeah. He wasn't like chicken noodle soup.
Oh, okay, because I'd be like, oh man.
Just liquefied stuff.
Like my shoulder hurts. And that's a potato soup.
Yeah, your potato soup. You're Irish. You need to have a potato soup.
It was it hurts when my elbow hurts.
I've got just the thing.
That's a pea soup.
He's putting a syringe in a fucking Campbell's chicken noodle soup, and he's just like, here you go. Just like. But he took a look at my dick, and he was just like, "Yep, that's herpes. You should put soup on it." And I'm like, well, "You're not gonna do any blood tests, doctor? Like, did you get your fucking doctrine from a cereal box?"
Well, no,
like,
what he got, he went to Campbell's University.
Yeah, right. And, so I went to a second doctor, and he was like, "Yeah, that looks like herpes." And I was like, "That's it." And I'm like, are we gonna do blood tests or anything? Is anybody gonna take a swab? Is anyone gonna smell this?
Were you dressed like this though?
Oh my god, yeah.
That's what I was like. So they were just like,
You got herpes.
They were like, don't even take your pants off. You got herpes.
We can tell, bro.
like, you may not have. We're gonna give you penicillin.
Yeah.
You may not need it.
Yeah.
But we're just like, you're leaving with prescribed penicillin.
So I went to a third doctor.
Yeah.
And this doctor actually fucking was like, okay, let's do some like blood tests and fucking take some like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Comes back negative, nothing. I got nothing. And fucking
ingrown hair.
It turned out it was like probably like I was finally getting my big boy hair. And but the damage was done.
Yeah.
Like where like fucking I told one of my friends, and in a small town you know how it goes. Like you tell somebody something, then everybody finds out about it.
Yeah.
And so I was I got into like an argument with my sister like probably a few months ago, and she's like,
I don't have herpes.
Yeah, she's like, you got fucking herpes, and I'm like, that was like 12 years ago, and I don't.
It's like, that was 12 years ago, but it never goes away.
Yeah.
Like, what?
And I'm like, what the? You've been literally holding on to this. Like, that's what you've been thinking in the back of your fucking
That
mind?
was her Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Yeah, she's like,
herpes. You just dropped the herpes card.
It'd be even better if, like, Yazdani found out about bun water. Just like, bro, change some stuff. You know, it was like, even funnier, dude. Like, he had a stroke. And my dad, this is how fucking cool my dad was. Like, he my dad would go to that doctor just specifically. He for some reason talking shit about people actually healed him.
Yeah.
So like he would go there just specifically so he could find something else to talk shit about.
Yeah.
And he'd come back and be like, that guy's a fucking idiot. And he like the Dr. Yazdani has a fucking stroke, and my dad goes, you should eat more soup.
I was gonna say, like, he just comes with him to like just like a care package of Campbell's soup.
Right? And I was just like, way to go, Dad. Like, way to go, man.
That's great. It's just like, yeah, I mean, small town doctor, small town dentist. Like, nobody goes to Taylor Hospital. Like, Taylor Hospital is like they'll go out of their way to go to another hospital.
Yeah.
Because like Taylor's not the hospial you want to go to.
I've had mental health issues like my whole life, like with depression, PTSD, stuff like that. And so like I remember I was having this like episode and kind of like where I was just like, it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And so I went to my mom, and my mom is like one of those types of people that are just like, well, I'll pray for you. You know, I love you. Would a hug make you feel better? I'm like, no. Doctors.
Yeah,
doctors.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, maybe you could drive over, because I told her, I'm like, I'm thinking about killing myself.
Oh wow, so it was serious.
Yeah, I tell her that, I'm like, I'm thinking about killing myself, and she's like, well, you can go to the emergency room here in town, and she doesn't even drive me. I go drive myself, and she just like keeps watching her fucking shows or something like that, and I'm just like, this is a wholesome place to live. And like
it's like, Mom, I'm depressed. Yeah, can you tell me during commercial?
Yeah, right. Well, she's so sweet and polite, but it's just like, you know, like there's no sense of urgency to her. Yeah. And like, it's like, bless her heart, but like fucking she so I go to the emergency room, and that's the second doctor that I told you about.
Yeah.
Like, he was there, and I go, and I literally push the intercom. It's like, hello, how can I help you? And I'm like, hi, I'm thinking about killing myself. And then she's like, please hold. And like fucking and then someone comes out, and the doors open up and everything, and I go inside, and then like the doctor's there, and he's like herpes got really bad, huh? I'm like no, man. Like I'm just like, it's just really bad and everything. And he's like, well, we can't really help you here, but if you drive to Beaumont, which is 45 minutes away, like
don't drive yourself off the side of the road.
Yeah, go to while you're please don't do that on the way there.
Yeah,
like no one even goes with me. Like no one even gives a fuck. And so like I'm like cool. And so I go there, and I don't want to go to this place called Spindletop, where it's like this fucking like it's a mental institution or whatever. Yeah. Like, it's a drug and rehab facility. It's like my older sister went there, and like she didn't have a good time, and which no one goes to a fucking drug rehab facility for a vacation.
So you didn't feel like you didn't want to be part of that alumni.
Yeah, but I still I still went with the suggestion.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like that's the suggestion of like, hey, try this, and even though I don't think it's gonna work, I'm like, well, fuck it, maybe I'm just being nihilistic or something like that, and let me give it a shot. So I went to the emergency room in Beaumont, and I go there, and there's people like bleeding, and there's people like fucking like hurt and everything, and I'm just standing there with my fucking like, I don't know, like 18-year-old fucking white self. Yeah. Just like standing there going, I'm thinking about killing myself while there's people like fucking dying. Shit like that. I'm just like, I don't think this is all that, I don't think I'm doing that bad. And then I'm like, well, let's go ahead. So they take me to this back room. They put me on suicide watch, and they like where someone just sits at the outside of the door and just like stares at me, and I'm like, all right, cool. And so I'm just cracking jokes and fucking like making people laugh and like lightening the mood and everything. And someone comes in there and just starts evaluating me, and then like after the evaluation, they're like, yeah. You know, like, I think we're going to go ahead and take you to this other facility and everything like that. And I'm like, oh, take me to it? I can just drive over to it, wherever it is. And it's like, no, we want to go ahead and drive you. And so they put me in an ambulance. Like, they put me in a wheelchair, put me in the ambulance, and they fucking drive me, like, a few blocks away.
Yeah.
To this fucking, to this facility.
Yeah.
And I go in there, and I walk in there, and there's all these people that look like they're just fucking, like, they're crackheads. Like, fucking, they're all coming down off fucking, like, heroin and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't have a fucking drug problem.
Yeah.
It's the fucking drug rehab facility that I fucking didn't want to go to.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't have a problem with drugs. I have a problem with my brain.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? And so this guy comes up to me, and he's like the nurse or the I don't know what he is. But he's wearing jeans and flip-flops, so I instantly don't trust him.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Was it hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Oh, dude, and like, God, this guy like was like he was so sweet.
Yeah.
You know?
So you already don't trust him because you don't like sweet people.
Yeah, I don't like sweet people, bro. He just like he just like, oh my God, okay, so you're having a really bad time, and I understand that. And my name is Tommy, and I'm here to help you. I just want to let you know that I'm here to help you. And like, so what's going on with you, buddy? How's it going? And I tell him everything, and he just is like, oh, that's horrible. That's terrible. I can't even believe that. But we have a really, really good program out there. In fact, everybody out there was just doing the program where we analyze song lyrics and try to like pull meaning from that. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking dope. Like, what songs do you like? I'm a musician. I love music. Like, what songs do you do? And it's like, the best song that we did today. We analyzed it. It's about empowerment and overcoming emotions and everything.
Katy Perry's Firecracker.
Exactly.
Oh,
and
no!
yeah, he says that.
No,
verbatim.
I was joking, man.
Yeah, dude, you fucking took the steam out
I
of that
was
one.
joking.
But you're right. That was
that's
Katy
horrible.
Perry's Fireworks, dude. And I was like, I'm checking myself out. Yeah. Because all of a sudden,
I'm sorry.
Dude. I mean, well, fuck it. It was.
I was totally.
You can see it. You can still see it coming.
Yeah.
And like, you think that's gonna be comically like what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And it's like grandiose over exaggeration.
Yeah.
But dude, that like, I was like, you know what? My life could be worse. Like my life literally could be worse. And I think that was the whole therapy.
You're just like, can we like analyze like Ziggy Stardust,
dude,
or can
it
we
gave
like
me a new outlook on life because it's like at least I'm not some fucking loser who's listening to Katy Perry for empowerment, wearing fucking jeans and fucking sandals. Like,
I got the eye of the tiger. I'm like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Nah, man. Like, I just literally.
Like, well, have you ever felt like a plastic bag?
Oh, God.
Have you ever like you're blowing through the wind and you're just wanting to start again? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah.
Does that feel like you? You know?
Do you
need help blinking by poking the side of your head?
My dad and me both lost a friend this month.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. To self-harm, man, and it's pretty rough.
Oh, dude, I thought it was like, like fucking they just like
they
disappeared.
They like took themselves out, man.
Oh,
It was pretty rough, man. Like, and they're both men, you know, so
it's we have a higher suicide rate.
Yeah, man. It's rough, man. And like, my dad's friend, it's not my story to tell, and my friend, it's not my story to tell either, but like it was just kind of weird because like my dad was, he was grieving, and then like literally, dude, like a week later, like not even more than a week later, like see that I lost someone. Well, he's a friend, so like to say I lost him is to be so disrespectful to the people who were closer to him. Like he was a friend of mine, we grew up together, but like we lost contact, man. But it's just like as disingenuous as it may sound, and as kind of like sappy as it may sound, you're in a good place right now. But if you're ever not, this is the place to come to.
Yeah.
Like you always have me, you always have Josh, you always have someone who isn't gonna be glued to a television and is gonna take everything you say as serious as you're trying to make it seem. And it's just like, man, like it's just such a sad state of affairs. Like when I see someone not take it as seriously as it can be, because like I saw cancer like eat my uncle alive. Like I saw it eat him alive.
Cancer wasn't like a bulldog or anything like that.
No, it was pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
He like I saw him go from a 6 foot, like 6'3", huge guy with like hands that like encompassed my hands, like eat him down to like a feather, right? And if people don't understand that, like, the thoughts in your mind can have as much impact as the cancer that's eating my uncle alive.
I'm sorry to make a joke, by the way, about that. Like,
you're fine, bro.
It was my
like,
fucking defense mechanism.
No, it's fine, man. Like, that's the best thing to do.
I don't want to say defense mechanism. I wasn't like,
it's
how dare you attack me with sadness? Like,
it's like, did you see? Oh man, there was this like, I don't know who he was.
You're gonna make another reference. Did you see the fucking the ferret fucking fight the 3 hamsters?
He was a YouTuber, and there's like this girl, like this like girl comes on, and she's got her like tag name on like a YouTube tag name, and he's like, hey, like Callie, I'm just gonna make up like a name, Callie Girl 183, like where you been? And he's like, she's like, oh, my mom died, and he's like, get that bullshit out of my what is it called, like my comments, like I don't want to be depressed.
Yeah.
And like everybody's like, fuck you, bro. Like
I understand where that like I understand that sentiment too, because it's like, you know, like what you were just saying about like the whatever, because I've had a lot of people that said you're not alone, you're not like, you know, it's like, don't worry, I got you and everything like that. And it's like, you're not always going to be on standby for me to have a meltdown. And it's like, so it's like, it's as nice of a sentiment as it is, it's like no one really backs it up.
And that's, I mean, the thing is that everybody has their own life.
Yeah,
so
you can't really expect people to just constantly be wanting to doubt on you and like coddle you and everything like that. There's like times where it's like it does get really, really bad and things happen, but like, and it's nice to have people to like rely on for that kind of situation. But in actuality, the only way that you're going to get yourself out of a situation is you have to do it.
Well, so the thing is that if there isn't a true sentiment, it's like when you stare into the abyss, it's staring back at you.
Yeah. It's like, does it have pretty eyes?
It's like, yeah, exactly. Well, if you're bringing depressive energy and I'm trying to bring positive energy, it only makes sense, man. I'm staring into the abyss and you're like, hey, brother, it's comfy down here. Like, join me.
I'm like sitting here, just like fucking got like kiwis on my eyes, and I'm just like drinking in the sun, and it's like, hey man, I'm looking into this abyss right now, and I just want to tell you about this abyss, and I'm like, I don't care about the abyss. Yeah. Like I don't know about the abyss, because whenever I look at the abyss, I get real sad.
Well, like I had a conversation with a friend of mine, because like when like the pandemic hit, and like world events were like, the funny thing is like when the pandemic hit and all these other things started happening, news got real small because everyone started paying attention to it. So all of the problems of the world were magnified or they were intensified. So people who didn't quite pay attention because they had 9-to-5s or weren't quite paying attention because they had their own lives, it started making things that were dire 25, 15, 10 years ago a lot more terrifying, whether it was climate change or just the pandemic in general.
The fucking moment when all those clowns were just fucking walking around.
Yeah, like,
you remember that?
Yeah, it's just like, but like the news the news in general just seemed to like amplify. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was like, you know, I'm so like tapped into the news, and I'm not ever genuinely happy. So like when I see all of these other people start paying attention, I'm like, oh, like no, like I've been here, like.
I'm only gonna pay attention for like 3 days.
I'm like, I'm the welcome wagon. Like, here's your complimentary tissue because you're gonna cry, and like you know, here's like don't forget to like eat your snack food every 30 seconds to like emotionally feed that need to eat. It's just like, because I'm here and like I pay attention to it. Doesn't mean I'm healthy about it. Like, and I also get frustrated when they're like, well, if you know your problem, that's like half the battle. It's like, no, the half the battle is like trying to treat it. Like,
I think 10% of the problem is actually seeing the problem.
Yeah, it's like I know I overeat. That isn't half the problem. You know what half the problem is like telling myself,
my fucking mom.
It was just like I overeat because I'm not happy. But like I know that it's not helping me. Yeah. Like I know I do it because I'm sad. I know I do it because it gives the happy juices in my brain going whenever I'm eating.
Yeah.
But it's just like,
and it's also like I used to be like really overweight.
Yeah.
Back whenever before like I joined the military and everything,
Yeah.
and I always had like a problem with my weight.
Yeah.
And I like, and as much as like I see my mom, like my mom is like a bigger lady, and but like, and so a lot of these coping mechanisms that me and my sisters developed, like with like having that relationship with food, it was something that was learned and taught.
Yeah.
But whenever you become an adult and it's like, you know, you're in charge of yourself, like there's like, it doesn't matter where the problem came
there's
from.
no excuse for it,
Yeah.
but you can make excuses for it.
Yeah, you can like say, hey, this is where this problem came from. Because like when people go to therapy, they're just like, they're 9 times out of 10, they're just gonna be like, oh, it's because your parents fucked you up. But that's like the beginning of it. Like,
well, the thing is,
everyone's parents fucked them up.
Well, the thing is that they're trying. That's
they
all
did their best.
Yeah, they're trying. Like
I remember when my dad told me whenever I was a kid, he was just like, "Oh, I've been a 5-year-old kid before," and I'm like, "Well, have you ever been a parent?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "No," and it's like, "Well, maybe you should take it easy, Dad, because we're both doing this for the first time."
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, my dad said stuff like, "Man, I wish I could have been like I wish I could have given you like the life I thought you deserved," and I'm like, "You did your best. Like, we're adults now. If I'm not giving myself the life I deserve." That's not your fault.
As much as it like was like, you know, hey, this was your fault at one point. It's like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
It.
We can't.
There's
we can't.
absolutely nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, we can't. We can't wallow in the past, and I can't continuously.
It's so hard to accept too. Cause like, and that's something that like fucking I have struggled with accepting, because I constantly am just like. Looking like, as much as like I try to get in that positive state of mind where I'm like, hey, I can't really dwell on these bad things and how these things happen. Like the anger pops up, and then like I'll go off on my mom about something where I'm just like, you fed me Adderall whenever I was a kid. You gave meth to a child.
Yeah, she's the lightning rod into which you feed that negative.
And
behavior.
I try not to do that. And like I catch myself doing it, and like some things like, like, hey, I need to like correct you on this, but it's like. It's tacked on with all these extra emotions, like where all this fucking extra stuff where I'm like, and so the whole point of what I'm talking about gets lost in my anger. And so like, I don't even get hurt at all about it, because it's like, well, I'm just too angry. And so like, that's something I'm still dealing with where, I'm like, it's hard to accept. Like there's nothing that they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we were,
unless they have like a really cool life insurance policy and I'm the main benefactor. So it's like, that's cool. But like, I don't want that.
The thing is like for me, what I get, like, what I get down about is like when you say like you don't particularly trust, like, how do you say it? It was like people who are trying to be positive or whatever. Like my thing is like my thing is like I get into this thing where like. When I'm like let's say I'm at work, like I don't particularly, like I'm nice to everybody. Yeah. So like I'm just nice to everybody. Like I was also like, I grew up in the Explorer program. So like I say yes ma'am and no sir to like people who are younger to me.
The Explorer program.
It's for kids who want to become cops. So like I hung around cops from like 9th grade all the way up until like 11th grade. Like so I was like a wannabe like little cop when I was a kid, and instead of like doing football, I was around like police officers and like, so like the thing, like it's great. It was a great program.
And women, they're very inclusive.
Yeah, it was a great program.
They thems too. I think
probably I'm sure now. Like not when I was there. Like that was in like 2001. Like they were probably around, but they just didn't know what they were.
I got physically assaulted by someone who's non-binary. And in a small town too.
Yeah.
So it's like I go to like file a police report, and it's like
it was multiple of them.
The cop was rolling his eyes so much where he's just like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, they are non-binary, so it's they assaulted me. It's like there's more than one person, and it's like, I mean, yes, there was more than one person, but it's like this single individual person is the they, and then he just was like. I'm pretty sure they just like threw out my police report because they're like, this is too stupid. Like this is just dumb.
I can imagine that the pronoun situation in a police report probably can get out of hand.
They just like disregarded everything I was saying.
They were probably just like,
that's the thing about being non-binary is you can commit all kinds of crimes and you have an alias.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you just have an alibi because it's like, are we looking for multiple people or are we looking for a single person? What's going on here? And it's like, oh, did you just assume that they're a person? And it's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, what is going on here? How can we have justice?
So when I was in like I said, so I grew up kind of like dorky and nerdy, like like terribly, like, but like I was
You're
friends
kidding.
with, but I was like friends with everybody, but like so that like pushed over to like the like job career. Yeah. So like when I was younger, I thought everyone should be my friend, and then as you get older, you kind of find out that that's not the way, like to like kind of carry yourself.
One thing I really dislike is that especially like in comedy and like show business and stuff, like there's this real fakeness to people, and I like having authentic relationships with people where it's like if I'm hanging out with you or if I want to talk to you, I want you first and foremost to be cool. Like I want you to be like a cool hang. Like I don't care what you offer me, I don't care what kind of stuff, I don't care if you have a bunch of snacks. You know, that's awesome.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, the thing about this place is that for the most part we want it to be as comfortable as possible. It's not so much the snacks as it's just the atmosphere. And
I see through your ploys. See through your ploys. You put them fucking cookies there to reel me in.
Yeah, exactly. How dare we bring down your defenses?
I'm telling you, man. Well, it's like I do kind of distrust people that are like really, really, because like I've seen like the fakeness of people, especially like whenever like I got kicked out of the Navy for doing drugs, and they were like literally like, hey, 0 tolerance. Yeah. No, you can't do this whatsoever. And I was a mechanic, so we like whenever you deal with mechanics, you're just like they say, hey, there's a tolerance on this, and it's like I think it can go another few miles. Yeah. Like, come on, you know they tested it for a little bit, and they were serious. They were so serious about that, and it was like one of those first kind of like eye-opening sort of things that I've like was a major part of like my PTSD. Which is like, it's like a separation anxiety where like I'm part of like a bigger whole, and then all of a sudden like that bigger unit or organization rejects me. Yeah. And it's like, no, you're going out here, and so that happened several times in my life, like, and it just got reinforced, and it's something that caused me to like kind of to mistrust things, because you can be like a golden boy at one point, and then all of a sudden somebody, and then you put one toe out of line, and then like people just cut you off like out of nowhere. The thing,
like that's similar. I don't even know if I have PTSD from that, but essentially, like, I remember one time I was working at a restaurant.
Yep, you have PTSD. Yeah, so you're in the service industry. You got PTSD.
And so there's this.
It's not a serious. Like, one second, I want to say like the thing about PTSD is that it's like. It's a traumatic event that happened, and it's a post-traumatic event. Yeah. So you could have had any kind of traumatic event, like you could have had a clown touch your penis or something like that, and like now you're afraid of clowns. Yeah. That clown may not have been in the Taliban and fucking like firing at you and blowing up all your buddies and everything like that, but it was traumatic for that clown to touch you. And I just want to say I'm sorry that clown touched you.
It wasn't a clown who touched me. So when I was in the restaurant,
oh my god, it was your uncle.
Whenever I was in the restaurant industry, right? I was in that particular job, there was this big burly guy, and he'd always come in super pissed off, right? He'd always come in when really like angry, and it was such a genius idea. I never thought of this, so that throughout the day he could.
This guy sounds like a server.
Well, like he was a cook. He was.
That sounds even more.
Like, so like, but it was a genius idea because then he started off at a point of being angry, so that was like the start point. So then, any which way he decided to go, whether it was happier or angrier, it didn't quite matter because he was still at the angry level. Yeah. I come in all the time and I'm happy. Right? And then the one day I come into the energy of him, what's wrong, Elias? Like, are you okay? Do we need to talk? Like, what's wrong?
That actually feeds into my point of like why I don't trust that people, because it's like whenever someone's like really, really nice all of the time, like they're covering up a darkness, and they're like
But the thing is like it's not that I'm like being fake. It's just that like at that particular time,
out positive energy.
I'm giving out positive energy, and I'm just trying to get through the day. Like I'm not overly nice or unreally nice. Like I'm just me. Like at any given point, I'm just Elias.
I don't think that you're overly nice.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think you're just like right at the.
Yeah. Right. So like, but so that's the energy that I was bringing. So I was bringing this like neutral kind of like, I'm happy. I'm not happy, but I'm just me. You know, I'm just me at any given point. I smile because like, it's just like. And you look at me, I'm like, hey, what's going on? I'm smiling. It's not like a cheesy smile. It's just whatever. And then it's just like, oh, well, Elias isn't happy. Maybe he needs someone to talk to. Maybe maybe he's sad. And I'm like, this guy comes in angry every day. And y'all guys, let him be him. Like, I just need one day, like just one day to just like, not like, I don't need you to like check on me or ask me like, why are you angry? Like the more you ask me why I'm angry, the angrier I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Because it's like you changed my mood, and now you're reinforcing the narrative like this isn't the mood I should be carrying, and then you're asking me like every 30 seconds like why is Elias upset? Like Elias is normally
go bust your tables, Eliza. Fucking get out of my face.
Yeah. Well, like. And like so like my manager's like do like we need to talk, and I'm like the best thing you can do is leave me alone. Like just leave me alone. Let me do my job. And it's like, well, this isn't you, Elias. I'm like, you don't even know who I am. Like I'm here 8 hours a day. Yeah. Like you're not my family.
You're not seeing the real me.
You're just seeing.
Do I have a blunt in my hand? Huh?
Like like you. And that's why
am I jacking off to tentacle porn right now? You're not seeing.
You're not seeing the real me.
Okay, like, you don't know the real me.
It's like the guy who works here 8 hours every day and like, is like a normal human being. Like
we don't shoot pool together.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. But like
you don't know the scumbag within me.
But yeah, and it's just like, but it was and that was just such like that's the kind of energy that I want to kind of like foster now because it's such a genius ploy. Like just be a piece of shit. That way you can. That's the base level. Yeah. And if you're if you're a nice piece of shit or if you're a happy piece of shit, you can still go down to that base level of piece of shit.
Yeah. If you're afraid of people finding you fucked up.
Yeah.
Never let them catch you sober.
Yeah, like that's exactly it. It's just like this base level was asshole, and it's a perfect way to be.
Yeah, that's like I like people like that. Like one of my buddies, Hank. Like fucking I had this history of like on my Instagram or like on my Instagram stories or anything like that. When I'm feeling down, I'll say like this really like negative sort of thing where I'm like the last thing that I said was
you're doom posting.
Oh, dude, it was fucking like sad boy posting.
Yeah,
bro.
it was
and like fucking. It's just like I have a sad boy in.
Yeah.
And fucking the last one that I said, I was staying in a hotel and I'm like I'm having one, and on my story I said I'm having one of those days where I want to test out the strength of a hotel coat rack, but I think these cleaning ladies work hard enough.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's a good comment.
Right?
That's hilarious.
So, yeah, and so like it made me kind of like laugh a little bit because I'm just like, oh, I'm having this really fucked up feeling right now, but my sense of humor is like there to help me. It's there to save me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hell yeah, two very different responses. Mm-hmm. So this one comedian, Holly Johnson, she's like fucking. She's a killer, bro.
Yeah.
She's like one of the best roasters that I know. She's roasted the shit out of me before. And I just quit.
So she got to the core of you and you were just like, I'm done.
And she's like this like really timid, like fucking blonde chick. And she like reaches out to me and she goes, hey, I just want to say, hey, are you all right and everything? And like, she was like, I know mental health's a bitch. Like if you ever need anybody to talk to, like you can talk to me and everything. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then my buddy Hank goes, the bridge at 35 and 71 is a good spot.
That's great, though. That's even funnier, man.
That pulled me out. That fucking pulled me out, and I deleted as soon as I read his fucking response, I was like, okay, I'm being dramatic.
Yeah.
And I need to fucking take this down and everything like that. And he didn't feed into it. That was thing. So it's like, it was like night and day. And I felt so great that Holly like reached out to me and like fucking, it just made me feel like really good. And it was very soft. Yeah. And everything just like that. But what I needed, to really pop me out of it was some guy going, this is bullshit. You're not going to do this. And I'm not going to feed into this whatsoever. And so
my
it was
thing
his
is
way of doing it. So, it was the same energy from both people. Like I'm reaching out to you to let you know I heard you. And everything like that.
See, like my evolution of like mental health has changed a lot. 'Cause like I was like very like, if you deleted yourself, I was like, okay, like,
yeah,
I was really bad about it. Like, I just was like,
what, you would make sad boy posts? And then
no. If like a person deleted themselves, like I was just like,
oh, like oh, we can't say.
yeah, exactly, right.
Oh yeah.
So like if a person deleted themselves, I'd be like,
somebody took the green pill.
yeah. So like and I was just like, okay, so what? And I was just like, I didn't care. Like, I was very cold about it. I thought it was like weak, and just like I was really nasty about it. Like, I didn't have to be more nastier than I should have been. But I was younger. Like, this was like probably like, let's say like 17 to like 20. Like, where I was
Get your mom's corpse out of my comments.
yeah. And I was just like super dark about it, and then like, you know, you mature, and then like you lose friends and you lose family members, and you just like, and then you kind of mature, and then it's just like you find out that like mental health is real, and like you're not a child anymore. You're not. So it's just like as you grow, like your ability to be like even like, you know, empathetic to people kind of changes. See, like my empathy is really strong, but it kind of stopped with, and it was like, if you were going to delete
it, can be a weakness.
Yeah, but yeah, like exactly.
That people take advantage of.
Yeah, so it's like my empathy is pretty. It's like I have like high capability of empathy, but it's just like if you were going to take that measure, my empathy kind of stopped, and then I kind of had to tell myself that like, or just like tell myself that like these people are actually hurting. Like there was like real. But then one of the people that used to be my friends was like, you know, came to me in like a situation, was like my girlfriend, like, and this was at the time whenever I wasn't quite as empathetic to that situation. And so they came up to me and they were like, my girlfriend just left me, and like I'm really depressed, and I'm thinking about like, you know, doing this. And I was just like, okay, well, call me tomorrow when you decide to do it. Because I knew like at that point he wasn't like gonna do it. Like, just call me tomorrow. And he's like, you can't believe you're not taking it seriously. And I'm like, well, I'm taking it as seriously as you calling me to let me know you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know,
I prefer you to be angry than sad.
Yeah.
Like fucking, because like with anger you can do something with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like sad kind of just stops all production.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you can't really do anything about, unless you know like you're fucking like Taylor Swift. And so it's like, you're just like, yeah, let the sad keep happening.
Yeah.
Like you fucking just like keep banging, keep throwing out them fucking singles, girl.
But like so that's where I was kind of at with it. And but like I remember, man, like this is like probably a year before COVID. I don't know if we're supposed to say that word, but this was like a year before the pandemic. And John Mulaney like relapsed. Right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, fuck this. I was just like so mad. I was just like, no, like, and
if there's anybody that deserves to do cocaine, it's John Mulaney.
And so
he pulled Olivia Munn.
Yeah, well, so like, but that's what I was like. I was just like, like, no. Like,
did you ever watch Attack of the Show?
Yeah, I loved Attack of the Show.
Oh my god, dude! Like,
he
have you seen her audition video?
I can't say that I have.
Dude, okay, so she's like 18 years old. She walks out there, no bra, and she's just fucking like, she's just like leaning over. And I'm sorry, I just fucking spit.
Oh, I don't think it hit me. So you're
like,
good.
Okay.
The herpes is still still maintained.
Like Olivia Munn, like fucking as soon as like, I just get.
Well, Attack of the Show was like my life.
It's
like
great.
At 4 o'clock, Attack of the Show. Yep. You get off school
on fucking Dish Direct. Or
yeah,
what was it called? Direct.
It was G4 TV, and then I usually had Time Warner Cable, so
okay. Like,
so it was like in like channel 500.
Do you remember whenever Roadrunner came out?
Roadrunner?
Yeah,
oh
like
yeah.
The internet.
Yeah.
Like, this is how stupid I was when I was a kid. I was playing Tomb Raider on my PlayStation, and it was taking forever to load. And I go, "We have Roadrunner. Why is this taking so long?" And then it's like, my dad's like, "You're a fucking moron. That's not hooked up to a computer." And I'm like, "One day these PlayStations will be hooked up to a computer. You'll see. They'll be hooked up to the internet. You'll see." So and he's like, "You're a dreamer. Go outside."
Nintendo was actually hooked up to, like, you'll find out that like old school, like, if you were poor, you didn't know this stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Sega and Nintendo hooked up to telephone lines, and you could play Mortal Kombat with like someone across the, you know.
That was magic to me.
Yeah.
Like fucking, it's just like the same thing as you know, getting laid by somebody who didn't used to be a dude. Like fucking, like for some reason I can just pull trans women like left and fucking right. They got little handles on them.
Well, the thing is that like you are.
What can we not say, by the way? This is something I should have asked like beforehand. Oh, you can't really say it.
I mean, the thing is like if you say it, you say it. Like I have friends that are in the trans like that are in the community and help build the community, and I hope that they know that whatever you say is on you. Like maybe
I had sex with a trans woman.
Well, like that's what I'm saying.
I loved it.
I'm like, you're your own person. You foster your own beliefs. Like I had a full blown conversation with a guy named Joel Webben, whose brother was transitioned into a woman, or transitioned from male to female, and hated the LGBT or dislikes the LGBTQ plus community, and like was rallying against it. And I interviewed him. I interviewed him to get that other side, and he was charismatic. He was funny. He was very capable of building a flock of people who believed in what he believed. Yeah. But his
sounds a lot like Adolf Hitler.
So his beliefs don't align with my beliefs, but that doesn't mean that I can't take what he says and question it, like or critique it, or have a sensible conversation.
Yeah,
with him.
I like doing. I like being able to have like pushback on any sort of
and like
I can accept that kind of thing.
So like whenever I was having an adult conversation with someone whose political beliefs didn't align with mine, and I was never rude, I was never angry at him, I never called him a bigot, I never said that he was hateful. What I did is I was like, okay, so this is why you believe
virtue signal, that kind of thing. That kind of stuff.
Well,
pisses
the
me
thing
off
is that this is what he believes, and this is what he's coming. This is where Joel Webben's coming from. You know, he felt that the community had co-opted his brother and changed him into something that he didn't recognize.
Fucking bigot!
And then I was, and then so the worst thing I could be like is, you're wrong, you're stupid, the things you say are dumb.
Like they corrupted his brother in the sense where
but the thing is that he found a community where he was safe and he was accepted and he was able to be himself, and all Joel saw was someone who further corrupted his mind, further pulled him into his delusion, further corrupted him. And that's what he saw. I believe that?
That's
no,
compassion.
That's what I believe is that he found compassionate people who were able to foster him positively to where he was able to be himself.
Honestly, would you chop off a body part in order to fucking be accepted by somebody? That's like really cool place.
No, I mean, like, because
they got really great Wi-Fi. It's always like 65 degrees. I
don't even accept myself as a full person. I don't really believe in in like happiness as a concept. You know what I mean? Like I take happiness when it comes, and I try and enjoy it at the moment. It's a dragon that you're never gonna catch.
It's man. Like people that are always constantly happy. It's like that's what like my name, like the Sunny name, because like my first name is Aaron, and so Sunny came about where it's like I always wanted to be like somebody who was very like happy. Where it's like I bring happiness, and it's like, but like that's a very open definition of what that is. And that
and that's what I tell people is just like happiness in the consumer sense is never reachable. Right?
People just want to always have the happiness light turned on.
And
it's like the thing that makes happiness better, it's like BDSM. It's like dealing with like a dominatrix, like fucking that cum that you're going to have later on is going to feel so much better after you heal, in contrast from the stilettos stomping on your nuts. Like, because that hurts. That hurts so much to have the stiletto on there, especially if they got like fucking little, like, especially if it's like a really big, like a heavier set lady and everything like that. They're the best. Like fucking, they just like, if they step on it and they hurt you and everything like that, and then they give you soft little kisses, and it's like, wow, this tiny little kiss right here felt so good in comparison to all that pain, but you needed all of that pain to make that happiness that much stronger.
So you heard it here. Happiness is BDSM.
Yes, indeed. Get you a dominatrix, dude.
That's the
if you're having thoughts of taking the green pill, or like ending oneself and everything, try out a dominatrix first. It's just be like, hey, can you just like get me to the point where I'm about to die, and then like let me just test it out, like see how it is, and then you'll probably find that you not only find this new thing in life, but you also discover a new fetish and new hobbies, and also new friends.
New hobbies, new friends.
You find this whole community of people that just want to welcome you in. Like,
so to me, like I said, I find happiness in just like whether it's cooking, feeding people. That's what I find happiness in. I'm a fat boy, so like to me, it's just like if you enjoy my food, I'm gonna cook for you. If you enjoy if you whether you're sad, like, hey, let me make you some, let me cook for you, let me make you some food. Yeah. And that's how I show my love. That's how I show my respect for you. That's how I show my kindness. Is through cooking, because I'm a fat boy. I love to cook.
Have you ever thought about like trying to like express your hatred through food?
No, because that's like where I find my happy place. So I don't know if things would taste better if I put hatred into it. That'd be kind of cool. I'm gonna make this really spicy.
That's why that guy in the line cook guy, that was the secret.
That was
why
the
his
secret.
Food was so good.
Yeah,
he just had to make himself mad. He was actually like a really nice guy, probably, and he had to go in there and just like watch the news. And
watch
stuff like that.
Metalocalypse, where it's just like, what's his name? Pickles.
Yeah, Pickles.
He like listens to like his thoughts are like rainbows and unicorns, but he's like in a death metal band.
Yeah. Okay.
Or is it? I think it's Toki, right?
Toki.
Yeah, Toki.
Toki like squish squiggles.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you fucking dildos. You can't even play guitars. You super fucking stupid dildo.
I sleep with old women.
I fucking love it. There's this one. Yeah, I don't remember what season it was, but like he had his own single song where it's like he goes out and like fucking he has all these kids that whenever you would have to knock somebody up, you knock like a groupie up or something like that. Then his agent would just come up there, his manager would come up there, give them money, enough money for college tuition and paying off everything, like a shitload of money for that, and then just like hush money as well. Yeah. And he had hundreds of kids around, and like there's this one song that is just so great that he sings, and he's like, am I a man's or a god? I was burst from a spectrum, a ghost in the night. Could it be that the gods gave me my life? And then like fucking just this rad ass guitar part happens. I fucking love
Metalocalypse is such a great show. It's too underrated. Not enough people watched it.
Yeah, I see the Rick and Morty thing over there, but like
my sister painted that in one day.
That got me through my divorce.
Yeah.
We
listened to our podcast. It'll get you through your depression,
dude. I'm gonna tell you something. Like fucking all the characters are you watch it?
Yeah. So like Jerry, Summer, Beth, Rick, Morty.
A lot of people they relate with like Rick, and
everybody's a Jerry, but everyone thinks they're Rick.
Bro, that's who I related with most.
Jerry?
I was such a Jerry in my fucking marriage.
Loser.
Yes. Yes. Like fucking, that's exactly what's because like I'm such a fucking loser, bro. Like fucking like I understand why my ex-wife left me. Like fucking like one day I was like a support manager at Walmart, and I got kicked out of the military. Like whenever she got with me, it was like fucking. I was a second class petty officer, like fucking everything was going great, and she was just like, oh, I'm about to be fucking whisked away by Prince Charming, and I'm like going, I'm Prince Charming, and it felt good, and then like I fucked it up, and like I lost all this stuff, and like she still stayed with me and everything, but like I had all this self-loathing, and I hated myself, and I was also like I was smoking spice during that time.
Jeez,
and like and that's what got me kicked out, and so I had like brain damage, dude.
Like that's like that K-12 stuff, right?
Dude, yeah, the K2 like stuff.
K2
oh my god, dude, it was like I had fucking brain damage, and I was a fucking piece of shit. When I would have like these anger fits, and like it was just so bad to the point where and I was like trying my best to like make a living for me and my ex-wife and her daughter and our soon to be born daughter, and like it was just like.
And your Dodge Charger.
And my Dodge Charger.
I'm sorry.
One day she just like told me we were living at like her aunt and uncle's house, and she just was like, "Hey, I want you to leave and everything." And so I got one of my buddies came and picked me up, and he was drunk as fuck when he picked me up, and he from Austin, and he drove me here to Austin, and like we're in Taylor right now, but like fucking
it's Austin.
It's fucking it's like drove me to Austin, and I like just sat on his couch for a month and watched Rick and Morty and fucking just smoked away my fucking savings, and or it's like more so it was her savings because I couldn't fucking save money whatsoever. She gave me half the fucking money, and like she like it was just so terrible. It was just a terrible situation. Like even so, like whenever I was there, I remember it was one of the only times I ever got beat unconscious.
Dang,
like if I've been fucked up. This got me in trouble, bro. Like my mouth has got me in.
I got a very punchable face.
I don't know what it is about me, dude. Like people just fucking like don't mind being evil to me, bro. Like they're just like I bring it out of them. Like I don't know.
You
what
look like you know what it
I'm
is.
gaslighting myself.
You know what it is that you look like what's his name from Die Hard. You look like Bruce Willis from Die Hard. You're literally John. Was it John McClane? I think you're John McClane, and like everybody's like, hey, he looks like down on his luck. I'm just gonna beat the shit.
Fuck this guy up.
Let's just beat him up.
Yeah, there's something about me that just like I think it's just honestly it's because they know I'm strong. Like they know that I'm just like I can take it.
You can take it.
So like fucking like I wake up. I'm sleeping on this guy's couch and him and his girlfriend's house, and like, they're both my friends. And I wake up and he's bouncing her head against the fucking door frame with the door up to their bedroom. And so I don't want him to do that. And so I get up and I fucking take the door off the hinges and like pin him to the bed. Like, and then I'm just like, oh, I just meant to open the door. Like, fucking, and so he's like 3-4 locos deep and smoked meth and like fucking like all this stuff. So he's a superhero at this point. Yeah. So he just fucking like gets up from there and just starts like fucking, I get him in a hold, but then he fucking like bites me in like right here.
Jesus.
Yeah, he just bites the shit out of me, dude. And like fucking, so like we separate and then he grabs a speaker and he just fucking hits me in the fucking head with it. And I'm like, and I go out. Yeah. Like fucking, and
you don't say.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm fucking unconscious. And then I get up and like when I come to, he's like passed out on the couch. She's gone, and everything. And I'm like, I got like fucking bruises and stuff all over my face. And so I call my mom and my dad, and like my dad. This is how fucking real of a guy my dad was. Like he, if I call my mom and I'm like, hey mom, I just got the shit kicked out of me and everything like that. She's like, well, that's not good. And I'm like, and like my dad was the type where he's just like, I'm on my way. Yeah. And so like my dad and my mom got in there and like he yelled at me the whole time, like fucking like to the point where I got out of the car, like fucking, but he came and got me and everything. And fucking, it was just like a really shitty situation. Yeah. And then I ended up spending like two more years at my mom and dad's house after that. And so don't get married. Like, don't get married or you'll get beat up by a fucking meth head. Like, in my fucking experience, like, you'll just get the shit kicked out of you if you fucking get married.
On that note, don't get married. You'll get beat up by a meth head. This was SUYL. My boy here, Sonny. Why don't you tell them where they can find you, Sonny?
You can usually find me on street corners peddling a bunch of watches that I fucking bought. I didn't steal them. Mark, you can't prove shit. Fucking, but you can find me on Instagram at Sonny D Carlin. I have some YouTube stuff as well, but it's like I think it's just like one set that I have on there.
It's what is it? What is Brendan Schaub's? It's Poppy Gringo. You can find his special Poppy Gringo.
You can find my special puppy granola.
Puppy granola.
But you can just find me on Instagram at Sonny D Carlin. I usually I'm an open micer level right now.
Yeah.
I got some shows slated for the new year coming up, and so I'll be posting that kind of stuff on my Instagram. So you guys can find me there. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's what you're looking at right there.
Yeah.
That's the camera.
Yeah. Well, you can find me there, and like I had a whole lot of fun.
All right, man. Well, thank you, Sonny, man. I really appreciate you coming through. This was SUYL. We probably could have gone on for another 2 hours, but... Yeah.
Shut up, you listen to my monkey mouth. As a companion when you got pun on the Kanoa route. Hopped in a portal and got in a fight. Elias knocked him out. Bow, Naruto fighting style. Bow, UFC he tapped out. Bow, we win, we get crowned. Monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth, monkey mouth.